Hello, everyone. My name is Derek, and welcome back to the Gridiron Blitz. Today is it. Today is the final preseason game for the Detroit Lions, Week 3, as they face off at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, before we get started, there will be little to no starters in the game today. Dan Campbell has elected not to play his starters today. The Lions will have 15 days to get ready for their opener against the San Francisco 49ers. And then the next 72 hours, 27 cuts have to happen on this team. And we're going to talk about that near the end of this video. And I'll give you my thoughts. All right, so we got some people out. Doesn't really matter. Last 5 games for the Indianapolis Colts, they are 3-2. They're actually 2-0 in the preseason with both wins. A win over Carolina and a win over the Minnesota Vikings. And even though wins and losses don't mean anything, 4-0 equals 0-16 for the Detroit Lions, it's still tough to see those last 5 games being losses. So we obviously lost by 1 point in week 1 of the preseason, and then we lost by 6 last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this game, as with all the preseason games, are not about wins and losses. They literally mean nothing. It's a good feeling to win in anything you do, but it's not a big deal because these wins and losses do not carry over to the season. They don't seed you. It has nothing to do with the season. But what it can do is help you evaluate a team. The team has to almost reduce by half in the span of the preseason, from the first week to the last week, with the Lions having to cut everybody but 53 by Tuesday at 4 o'clock. So this game will help them be able to determine who will make that team. All right, so let's go over to Pride of Detroit. And I saw this article, and I thought this would be a good tie-in today, since there's not really much to go off of when it comes to ESPN and stats and stuff like I usually do. This will be a great transition into the next video about how the people did who I think are on the roster bubble as far as making the team. So this article is from Pride of Detroit. I'll try to link it in the description. 11 jobs up for grabs in the Detroit Lions preseason finale. We're going to go over these one by one, and we'll see if we can agree with him. Now, for Detroit Lions quarterback number 2, they have the contenders David Blau and Tim Boyle. They actually have them even. I disagree with that. I have to say that David Blau is going to be my number 2 right now, and my number 3 would be Tim Boyle. I am a strong advocate, always have been, of keeping 3 quarterbacks on the roster. When we had Matthew Stafford, I did not like the fact that we just kept 1. My thoughts are, if 1 goes down, then you only have 1. If he goes down that game, then you have to put in an emergency guy. But beyond that, you need somebody who is familiar with the system. So I think that for me, I'm keeping both of those guys, with David Blau being number 2 and Tim Boyle being number 3. Running back 3, this one is kind of curious. They have the locks, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. The contenders, Jamar Jefferson, Dietrich Mills, Godwin I, and Craig Reynolds. I know I don't want to butcher his last name. They say that their favorite is Jamar Jefferson to make number 3. Now I'm going to have to disagree with that. Tonight, Craig Reynolds will be able to cement his place, not only making the roster, but also cementing himself as number 3. I think the Lions will probably keep 4, but really what will determine whether or not Craig makes this team, in addition to his performance tonight, would be his value on special teams. Dan Campbell said so himself. So if Craig Reynolds can have a stellar performance, I am going to take Craig Reynolds over Jamar Jefferson, but I still think 4 is a possibility. Wide receivers 4, 5, and 6. Locks, Terrell Williams, St. Brown, and Khalif Raymond, who's short, but that dude has been balling. I got to see him personally in camp, and he was a monster. He was a monster, man. Size didn't matter in this situation. The contenders would be Cephas, Perriman, Kennedy, and McKinley. Their favorites would be Cephas Kennedy, and Eric says Cephas Perriman. Wow, so we have been talking about this, that Brashard Perriman was on the bubble. For me, I'm going to say that the Lions roll with 6 wide receivers like they did last year. Now, obviously, the locks at tight end are TJ Hockenson, Darren Fells, with Brock Wright and Elise Mack as the contenders, and obviously Mack is both their favorites. Now, for me, I think that we could also have someone picked up after cuts coming up this week. For linemen 8 and 9, they're going to go with Brown and Stenberg, and I'm going to have to agree with them there. For the edge number 4, they got the locks, Trey Flowers, Romeo O, and Julian O, Austin Bryant, and Charles Harris. I'm also going to go with Austin Bryant in that situation. I do like that lineup. Now, when we go to defensive tackle, 4, 5, 7 question mark, they got Brockers, Williams, McNeil, and Onwuzurike. Contenders would be Strong. Contenders would be Penasini, Strong, Hector, and Deshaun Hand. Jeremy has 5 and 6 as Penasini, Hand, and Eric has Hand, Penasini. I think both of these guys are probably on the bubble. Hand, this is it for him. This is it for him. So hopefully he can perform. Linebacker number 5, locks. This is interesting. Jamie Collins, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Jalen Reeves-Maven. Contenders, Anthony Pittman, Jelani Tavai, and Tavante Beckett. The current favorite, no one to make linebacker number 5, which means that Jelani Tavai is likely to be cut. And that is going to be a fulfillment of all the Lions fans' wishes. Nickelback number 2, lock A.J. Parker. The lock is A.J. Parker. I think he's done pretty well with Coleman and Elder being contenders for nickelback number 2. Jeremy and Eric both have even. I'm going to say it's going to be Robbie Coleman or neither. I don't think Corn Elder makes this team. All right, so DB number 11. We know who let's look at the contenders. Bobby Price, Jeremy Jacobs, and Jalen Elliott. I really can't say. I haven't really paid attention to this position that far down, so I can't really say anything about those guys. The kicker, contenders is Bullock and Gonzalez, and the favorite is going to be Bullock. I would have to agree with that as well because of the fact that Zane Gonzalez is not that good. So I'm going to have to pretty much for the most part agree with this take on it. The only one I kind of disagree with is going to be the running back position, where I believe that it is going to be, Reynolds over Jefferson as 3 and 4 possibly. And I also believe that David Blau is ahead of Tim Boyle as it stands pre-game, game 3 of the preseason. All of that could change later on tonight. So be sure after we do the live stream that you look out for the video as well to get my take on who I think performed well enough to make this team. My name is Derek. This is the Gridiron Blitz. Be sure to subscribe. And when you do, ring the notification bell, but set it to your preference, whether you want all notifications for all my videos and live streams or just the ones that you would like to see. And if YouTube is doing their job correctly, you should be only notified of those. You guys are awesome. Be sure to watch the game tonight, 7 o'clock EST, and we'll see who makes the cut in the next couple of days. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.